Finally starting to wrap up these tier list videos. We're down to our final few positions here. We're hitting the outfield today, starting it off with center field. You might wonder why I'm picking center field first. I actually did a poll on my Twitter, so if you guys want to get involved in that, you know where to follow me. But I did a poll on my Twitter as to what position to do first. You guys said center field, so that's what we're doing today. The tier list videos, we got left field, right field, I think maybe DH, and then we'll do relievers and managers, but then I think that pretty much wraps up the tier list for now, and maybe we'll revisit them at the end of the year. But I'm telling you, I'm actually going to do all the positions for this one. I know I didn't do that for ranking them before the season, but I'm going to do it now. As always, if you guys do enjoy these videos, you know what to do. Make sure to leave a like on it. That's the best way to show your support. Subscribe to the channel if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you love baseball, this is the place to be. Make sure you hit that sub button, join the team. Remember to get in that comment section down below. Let me know what you think about my tier rankings. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I know we might not necessarily agree all the time, but I still love to see your reasons as to why you agree or disagree in the comments down below. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. And I'm going to include a quick little shout out to today's sponsor, SeatGeek. As you guys know, I love SeatGeek. I go on there all the time. That's how I buy my tickets for games. SeatGeek's got the lowest prices. It's got the best deals. So what you do is you download the app or you go to SeatGeek.com, pick the game, pick the tickets you want, and when you go to check out your tickets, make sure you use the code Giraffe to save yourself $20 off your first order. You get to go watch some baseball. You get to save money. It's a great deal. SeatGeek.com, use the code Giraffe, $20 off. I think that's enough shameless plugging. Now it's time to go over the rankings for center fielders. So starting off here, we have Jackie Bradley Jr. I understand Jackie Bradley Jr. is a really good fielder, and he has been an okay hitter in the past. He's a little hot right now, but he started off the season absolutely terribly. I mean, he's still hitting 208. His OPS isn't great. His slugging's below 400. He's been hot, and that's why his numbers are not nearly as bad as they were, but I think I'm going to drag Jackie Bradley. I'm going to put him in the C right now. I think he is an overrated player, but I'm going to drop him in C because he really is good defensively. He has a cannon of an arm in center field. I just don't think he's like a top center fielder in the game like some people consider him. Not a lot, but some will say that. Mike Trout. Yep, Mike Trout, S tier. Do I need to explain anything here? Best player in the game. One of the best players that have ever played the game. Mike Trout's just an absolute stud. I don't need to spend a lot more time on it. If you don't think Mike Trout is S tier, you're crazy. Starling Marte. Starling Marte is an interesting player because I don't think he gets enough credit by a lot of people. He's actually a very good center fielder. I don't think he's S tier because he's still not one of the top players in the game, and honestly, when you get into this elite tier, it's not just about how good you are at your position, but just how good you are in general in the game. So while he is a really good center fielder, he's actually pretty good offensively, and defensively, depends what metrics you look at, but he's pretty decent. I think Starling Marte is a good player. I'm going to put him in the A tier. I think he's definitely a top 5 center fielder in the game, just not elite. Victor Robles. Offensively, he's actually a pretty good little hitter. He's struggling on the average side, but he definitely has some pop in his bat. Cannon of an arm. He can run for days. His fielding's questionable, so I'm going to put him in the C category. He's still a very young player. I think the Nationals have a really good player in Victor Robles. I think he can be their center fielder for the future, and if not, moved him to right or he moved to one of the corner spots, and he's great there. But I think right now, the way he's playing in 2019, based off what we've seen, I got to drop Victor Robles in the C category. He's been just okay. Randall Grichuk for the Blue Jays. He's going to be our first player that goes in the D tier, and the reason he goes here is because he does have some pop in his bat. The dude can definitely hit some home runs, but defensively, he's like below average defensively in center field. He's really more of a corner outfielder. His power is pretty much the most redeeming quality of him as a player, so I'm going to put him in D tier. He's definitely been a super disappointing player. Ian Desmond's an interesting player because offensively, he's really good. He's kind of in like that A-B category, but defensively, he's in the D or F. He's not a center fielder. He was a shortstop when he came up. He's probably honestly best suited at third or first base, but his defense is pretty atrocious. Oh, where do I put him? Because offensively, he's very good. But because of how bad he is in center field, like, he's really not a center fielder. He's a corner guy. I'm going to put him in C. Manuel Margot. Talk about unbelievably disappointing. The reason he goes in D is because he's actually kind of okay in center field. He can definitely run. He gets to a lot of balls. He has great range out there. But offensively, oh my goodness, has he been horrible. His OPS plus is in the 50s. He hasn't been much of a hitter since being called up by the Padres. I think it's probably time they move on for him. I don't think he's a part of their future plans. Manuel Margot is bad. If he wasn't even, like, if he was below average defensively, he's clearly going to be an F, but his defense saves him a little bit. I'll throw him in D, but he's still not great. Jacoby Jones, again, another one of these players, like, good sometimes, bad sometimes in center field. He has been hot of recent. Ever since they played the Mets, he's been hitting a lot better. If you told me before that series, he's probably in the F range because I think he's pretty terrible. I'm really between D and C right now with him. I think I'm going to drop Jacoby Jones in the D tier. I don't think he's really even an average center fielder right now, so yeah, I'm going to put Jacoby Jones in D. He's not very good. So here's the thing with Alberto Mora. He's good defensively, but offensively, like, he hits 250, which isn't bad, but he's tough. I see him as better as all the guys that are listed in C right now. He's definitely worse than Marte, I think he's a bit overrated by Cubs fans. I mean, he's in the top 10 for all-star voting, which is crazy. I think I'm going to drop him in B, but I'm not feeling great about that one. He's okay. Defensively great, but at the plate just doesn't really get me excited. I gotta put him in C. He's the same as all those other guys like Jackie Bradley. Good defensively, but just can't really hit. Delino DeShields for me is gonna go in the D category. Defensively, again, he's probably average, above average, but at the plate, he pretty much offers nothing. He offers speed. He gets on base. You know, we're going to put him in C, actually. He's kind of in that same category. There's a lot of players who are pretty good defensively, but just don't hit at the plate. He seems to be one of those guys. At least he does get on base and steal some bases. He has some speed, so at least he offers that. But again, just nothing really above average for him. Lorenzo Cain in 2019 has looked horrendous. He's looked really bad. I mean, this is one of his worst seasons to date. I still think he's probably S tier. This is tough. You look at his numbers from the previous years, he's hitting 300, gets on base, steals bases, doesn't strike out, plays a fantastic center field. I mean, one of the best fielding center fielders in all of baseball. I think I'm still going to drop him in S tier. I still think he's an elite center fielder. He's off to a rough start this year, but I think he's going to turn it around, especially in that Brewers lineup. I think I still have to drop him in S, despite even having a bad 2019. For AJ Pollock, even though he's hurt and doesn't play a lot of games, when he is healthy, I actually think he's a pretty good center fielder. I'm going to drop him in the A tier. I think offensively, when he is healthy, he's one of the better hitting center fielders in the game. It's just the problem of he's not very healthy. And of course, he's a great fielder out in center field. He's won a Gold Glove in the past, has great range. That's why he gets hurt a lot, because he gets to a lot of balls and dives and stuff. But I think AJ Pollock's a really good player. It's just he's not on the field, so it's tough to put him anywhere higher than A. I could see why you have him in B, but I'm taking him at his absolute best, and I think he's an A. So Odubel Herrera has a bit of a domestic violence issue, so that's not good. If you scratch the domestic violence issue, he's still not great. He's probably in the D or C category, but including that, I mean, he can't field in center field. He's not much of a center fielder. He's so incredibly streaky at the plate. The dude's so inconsistent. I think Odubel Herrera is a D or F normally, but then you add in being kind of a shitty person, and he goes into the F category. Pains me to do this, but Malik Smith, I've interviewed the guy. He's so nice. I have the video on the channel in case you want to look at it, but nicest dude, just not off to a great start this year. He had a career year last year. Maybe he was breaking out, but it's just not looking like that. I'm going to drop Malik Smith in the D tier. He still does have some speed. He has some range out there, but he's still not great defensively. He's not great offensively. He's in the D tier. If he didn't have the speed, definitely F. Jarrod Dyson for me is also going to go in the D tier. He is having a better year at the plate, but he's still a way below average hitter compared to the rest of the league. Defensively, that doesn't make up for it enough. He can run for days. He's so incredibly fast, but he just has not a lot of value at the plate, and I need a little something to be average, and he's definitely a worse hitter than a lot of the guys in the C. I know he's having a career year, but look at his OPS numbers, look at all his other stuff. That's not the kind of player he is. I think this is an old list. Again, someone else made these on Tier Maker, and I just do them, so they could be a little bit outdated. I'm pretty sure he's not their center fielder anymore. He hasn't played since May. But Scott Schebler, regardless, is going to be an F. He's not a center fielder. Doesn't really hit for well, so he's an F regardless. You can tell this is outdated because Lewis Brinson's also on here, and Lewis Brinson is an F. What a failure he has been. They obviously got him in a trade for Christian Yelich, and he has just been a complete and utter failure. What a bust. He's looked horrendous. He's F tier. Harrison Bader is going to go in the B tier for me. Now, I know this is going to bother some people because I have him in B and I have guys like Jackie Bradley and Alberto Mora in C, but he's a much better fielder than them. He's insane out in center field. He's pretty good with the arm as well. He gets on base. He's speedster on the bases, something that Jackie Bradley and Alberto Mora don't have. His slugging percentage is higher. His OPS is higher. I think he's a better player. Harrison Bader's going to go B tier for me. Juan Lagares, I'm a Mets fan. I got to drop Juan Lagares in the F tier. He offers nothing at the plate anymore. Yes, he gets to a lot of balls out in center field, but his arm is kind of shot now. It's not the same it used to be. I still don't think he's even making some of the plays that he used to out in center field. So I think he's still a great fielder, but he's definitely regressed. But he's just so useless at the plate. Maybe this is me just being done with him for the Mets and just we need to move on, but I think he's F tier. Marisnick, kind of like the half center fielder for the Houston Astros, definitely has some speed, definitely good in the field. I'm going to put him in the C category. I think he's pretty decent. He can definitely be a guy out there, and in that Astros lineup, he definitely works. I don't think there's much else to say about him. I think he's pretty average. Leury Garcia for the White Sox is going to go in the D tier for me. He's basically, like, okay fielding-wise. He's below average hitting-wise, which makes me go to the D category. He's not complete trash. He can definitely hit for a decent average, but he doesn't really get on base. He doesn't really get extra base hits, so I think D is the right spot for him. He's not a great center fielder. Kevin Pilar as well is going to go in the D range, similar to a lot of these guys. He can get to some balls in the outfield, although he's gotten worse and worse in the field now. He's not really much of a center fielder anymore, but, you know, it's the Giants. They need all the help they can get. He's more of a corner guy now. But he doesn't have great range anymore out in center field. He's not the same fielder he once was, so he's pretty much average out there. And hitting-wise, he doesn't really offer you anything, so Kevin Pilar is going to be D-range. This is Cedric Mullins. He hasn't been up since April for the Orioles. He was really bad, F tier. There's not much to say there. I don't even know who really plays center field for them now because they're just not very good. Maybe it's Dwight Smith Jr. or someone. Keon Broxton, I think. Anybody, it's going to be D or F. Dwight Smith Jr. is maybe C. George Springer. George Springer is going to go in the S tier for me. I think he's a pretty good outfielder in center field. Some numbers say he's not great out there, but he definitely has a strong arm, and he hits like crazy, so it doesn't matter because he is average defensively, let's say, with an elite bat. He's so incredibly good. I love George Springer, one of my favorite players in the game. Definitely super good. S tier for me without a doubt. Look at his numbers this year. Filthy. You could argue he's technically a right fielder, but he's on this list here, and I'm just going to go through what's made for me, and he's on this, so S tier. Dexter Fowler. Dexter Fowler's kind of in the D tier as well. He's not really a center fielder anymore either. Again, more of a corner guy, and even there, he's not great defensively. At the plate, he's definitely taken steps back. This year, he has improved, but he also hit 180 last year, so it's hard not to get better. Dexter Fowler's not much of a player since coming to St. Louis. The Cubs have had him at his best, and then St. Louis got screwed. They got scammed. Adam Engel hasn't been a center fielder for the White Sox since May. Again, whoever made this, a little bit outdated, so maybe I need to find like an updated one. Can someone make that for left field and right field? But Adam Engel is going to be he's going to be D tier. He's actually really good in the field, gets to a lot of balls, he robs a ton of home runs, he's great fielding wise. Offensively, pretty much offers you nothing, so I'll put him in D because he is great at fielding, but there's a lot of guys who can field in center field, so it's really not as valuable as you think, and when you do nothing at the plate, that's a bigger issue for me, so he's going to go D. So, Mets fans, I love Brandon Nimmo. He's not a center fielder. Again, he's a corner outfielder, but it seems to be a little outdated. If you play him in center field, like we've seen, he's not great out there. Doesn't have great range, doesn't get good reads on the ball, doesn't have a strong arm, and he hasn't really hit this year. Definitely has a problem with his neck, so maybe that's part of it. From what we've seen this year, including last year, I think I have to be fair. I think I have to put him in C. He's not really a center fielder. His hitting's kind of been average. He went super high last year, and now he's back down to a low, so I think he's pretty much a C player. He hasn't been doing great. Byron Buxton has been a pleasant surprise this year. I'm happy to see this guy finally playing well. I'm going to drop him in the B tier. He easily could be A by the end of the year. He's playing extremely well. He's hitting in the 260s. He's hitting doubles like crazy. Of course, out in the outfield, there might not be a player who gets to more balls than Byron Buxton. He gets to everything. He's a 5-tool player. He's finally starting to show it. He easily can go into A tier. He can easily be S tier in a couple years, but I think right now, compared to what we've seen in the past, and what we're seeing now, I have to be a little bit fair and put him in B. He's still a very good player, though. Marteen, I mean, he's a pretty good center fielder. He has a cannon of an arm. He has some pop in his bat, so I'll put him in the C because of that. I mean, dude has an absolute laser. Just, again, he's really more of like a fourth outfield option. I just think because the Indians are so weak out there, he's their guy, but I think he's pretty average, if not in that D category range, but he has some pop, so I'll give him that. Jeez, we're considering Brett Gardner a center fielder. Brett Gardner's D for me. He's horrendous. His arm is so bad. He can't reach the cutoff. I mean, it rolls in there. I don't know if he can throw the ball 150 feet. It's horrible. Defensively, he'll get to some balls, but even then, he's still a little sketchy out in the outfield. And offensively, yeah, doesn't offer you much. Brett Gardner, D. Aaron Hicks, on the other hand, though, I think Aaron Hicks is a really good player. I'm going to drop Aaron Hicks in the A category. I think he's one of the top center fielders in the game. I mean, he's not in that elite, but when you get to the next little level there, he's definitely up there with the best of them. Aaron Hicks, switch hitter, has a little bit of speed, plays a great center field, has a cannon of an arm. Health has always been his issue, but when the guy's healthy, like we saw last year with the Yankees, he can make a huge difference in that lineup. He's a really good player. I'm going to put him in A. Kevin Kiermaier, another one of these players who's considered one of the best fielders out in the outfield. He's absolutely elite, cannon of an arm, can run so fast, and he's actually starting to hit a little bit, 250. If you can get Kevin Kiermaier to hit 250, that's huge. So because of that, I'm going to drop him in the B category. If he can hit a little bit more, he gets into the A or S, but right now I think he's B because I still have to remember the last couple of years where he didn't hit for anything. But if he continues to hit at that 250 range, he's very valuable, especially with how good he is defensively, so I'll put him in B. Billy Hamilton, man, I don't care how good defensively he is. His offense is just so disappointing. I mean, he can't even get on base. All he needs to do is get on base, and then he steals and it becomes a double or a triple. But he can't even do that. He's obsessed with trying to hit the ball in the air. I don't know why. Line drives and ground balls is all he should be doing. He's so frustrating to watch. D. Bad. While Ender Inciarte is great in center field, his offensive numbers have kind of stagnated and gotten worse, and I think he's on his way out in Atlanta. I'm going to drop him in the C category. He's average. Good defensively, okay at the plate. He's a good top of the order kind of guy, slaps the ball around the field, but nothing more than that. And then we've got Ramon Laureano. A little bit of pop in his bat, defensively gross. I mean, we all saw that play where he caught the ball, crazy catch all the way in left center field against the Angels, and then he made that insane throw. I mean, the dude, he's playing well, so I think I'm going to drop in the B category. Ramon Laureano has definitely impressed me from what I've seen thus far. Got some pop in his bat. He's a 250 hitter. If he plays defense and throws like that, It's very valuable to the A's, so I think he's going to go in the B category. So that's going to be my tier list rankings for center fielders in Major League Baseball. I'd love to know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below, so let me know your thoughts and opinions. Get involved with the channel. Remember, leave a like on the video if you did enjoy it. That's the best way to show your support. Subscribe if you're new and you enjoy the content. If you love baseball, this is the place to be, so make sure you hit that sub button. Remember to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in the description. And of course, remember to check out SeatGeek.com. Use the code Giraffe at checkout. Save yourself $20 off your first purchase. That's going to wrap up today's video. YouTube recommends you watch this one right here, as well as this is my most recent upload. So click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video. Bye.